So welcome, ladies and gentlemen, we're back today and it's time for a review. That's right, we're going to sit down, as we are, and we're going to review eFootball PES 2020 for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One and PC. Now, I've played it on the PC myself. I have not played enough online though to really give you my thoughts. So this is primarily an offline review, but I'm still going to be critiquing the presentation, the graphics, sound, gameplay, and the fun factor. Of course, let me know your thoughts below. What would you give eFootball PES 2020? Yeah, it's a mouthful. Out of 10, if you were going to score it, let me know. But without further ado, let's dive in to this review. Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about is the presentation and the UI. Okay, so when we're talking about that, the presentation is primarily sort of the menu system, the way you navigate through the different menus. It kind of also dives into the gameplay itself of before a matchup, which hasn't really changed. But let's talk about that. Let's talk about the presentation, the menu system. So they changed the menu this year on the home screen, right? They made it a little bit more intuitive. I thought it was a lot cleaner and certainly probably the best menu they've had for an awful long time. The changing of the teams, the changing of the players was a nice transition effect. You could scroll down with the analog stick and you could see information about my club or other different features. It worked well. The problem is, and it's a big problem, there's nothing outside of the main menu. It's like they only changed the main hub, the main menu itself, but they didn't dive deeper into the rest of the game. It's still the same choosing of the controllers, selection of teams, everything's the same. The game plan's the same. Choosing a stadium, it's all the same. And I would have loved Konami to go a little bit further. Do the same sort of reconstruction of menus to everything else. Even Master League is pretty much kind of the same, apart from a few things that have been moved around. So yes, absolutely, I love the new menu system on the home screen, but once you dive deeper into the game, it's the same old story, and it left me a little bit disappointed. When it comes to the gameplay itself, before a match with the presentation, it's still kind of stale. I just want to see more. I want to see more. I've played PES now for decades, and literally, we've seen the same intro to every match every single year. It doesn't matter if it's a cup game or a league match or an exhibition match. They're always the same. Let's get a little bit of variety. No, it's not gameplay related and it's not going to revolutionize the series, but it's going to add something extra. And then we won't sit here and complain that the presentation hasn't gone leaps and bounds. So I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. Purely because I do like the main menu. They have at least worked on that. If they hadn't have done that, this would drop dramatically and it wouldn't be good. But there's promise. There's promise there. I hope Konami take note and they really do enhance it more next year for PES 2021 and change menus elsewhere, because that's what we want to see. So next up we have the graphics. Okay, graphically, PES has always been pretty solid. It really has. It's got better and better every year, which you would expect with a new game, right? A new game comes out, new lighting is there, new effects, there's new ways of technology now. Technology is insane. It's absolutely insane. And you know, the fact that you can get iPhone graphics looking like a PS4 is madness. But purely based on graphics, PES is a fantastic looking game. It really is. They've gone next level when it comes to the face scans for the partnered teams. Unfortunately, we're not getting that for everyone. The default faces and that are still pretty poor. And you can tell the difference. You definitely can, from the likes of Paul Pogba and someone from the Championship who doesn't have a face. Now, of course, that's a no-brainer. It's going to happen that way. But definitely the faces have improved. They have. The lighting has improved. I think the turf looks better as well. So honestly, I can't complain too much about the graphics. The only thing I can say is people aren't happy about the kit models themselves. They're a little bit loose, they're a little bit baggy. Yes, they are. I don't know why Konami decided to do that, but they did. They do look, you know, some of the shorts are like past knee length, which, you know, players don't really wear nowadays. It's changed. Players like to wear tight fitted tops or tight-fitted shorts more, especially someone like Ronaldo. I mean, his shorts are always up halfway up his thigh. So yeah, disappointing with that aspect. The kits aren't quite the part. Player models still look fantastic. Faces are great for the most part. The pitches, the stadiums, they all look gorgeous. They really do. I can't complain about the graphics, really. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. They do improve them every single year, and I think they're just going to keep doing it. When the new engine comes out, then we will see the power of what is capable. But for now, relatively happy, and I think a 9 out of 10 is fair. So now let's talk about the sound. Okay, and this is where PES is going to get a bit of a hit. Now, I'm not talking about soundtracks because I'm not really that fussed about it. PES used to have some techno-type porno soundtracks that weren't exactly engaging, so they've definitely improved when it comes to them, and you can always add more if you're on the PC anyway. But when it comes to the gameplay, sound is something that Konami have to work on. The atmosphere, the ambience, it's just not there. And when you compare it to their competitor, FIFA, it's mind-blowing. FIFA is up here, and unfortunately PES is down here still. They haven't revolutionized that aspect of the game. You know, I play with headphones on, and I'm sure a lot of people do as well. Not everyone, but still, as people with surround sound systems, 5.1, 7.1, whatever you have, when you put FIFA in, you get that element of sound surrounding you. You feel like you're actually at a match, whereas in PES, it's very stale. Even when you score a goal, there's a little bit of action with the crowd and the atmosphere, but it's nothing too special. I play on PC, as you guys know, and I have the luxury of adding chants into the game. So for me, it sounds great with that addition, but out the box, it's poor. It's very poor, and they have to improve it. They really do. It's one element of the game they are missing tremendously. And if no one agrees with me, that's a bit of a shock, because I think most people know, if not 100%, that the sound is not up to par. I'm going to have to give it a 6.5 out of 10. It's harsh, I know, but they have to revamp it. They have to improve it. And it's a big aspect that needs looking at. Okay, so now let's talk about the gameplay, shall we? The meat and bones of any type of game, and something that you want to enjoy, otherwise there's no point. There's no point having a good menu system or a good Master League mode if the gameplay isn't gripping you, if the gameplay isn't fun to play. Obviously I have a fun factor after this, so we're not going to dive into that, but the gameplay on the whole is solid. I think that's the word you can use. It's not revolutionary, and it's not donkey poop. You know, it's solid, it is. Now, there are changes from the demo, and we've seen the dev team on Facebook say a couple of things about that they try to fix one thing, but then it might mess up another. So you've got to kind of find a middle ground. Now, there are things missing, and I do miss them. The physicality I thought was better on the demo. The pace is kind of the same, maybe a little bit quicker on the full game, but that was to be expected once you polish up the animations and that. Responsiveness, though, is an issue. And I'm hoping Konami do patch this as quickly as possible. They've said the patch is going to come out in October. A little bit late, but better late than never. But there are things about it that annoy me, and there are things that I love about it. And is there enough annoyances in it to stop me playing the game, stop me playing Master League? And I'm going to say no, there isn't. I still do enjoy playing the game very, very much. I still think it's the best simulation of football we're going to get right now on a console, on a PC, any kind of video game. But there are things that annoy me, and I deal with them. I learn to live with them. What may annoy me might not annoy you. What doesn't annoy me may annoy you. It's the way things work. Score-wise, I'm giving it an 8.5. An 8.5 out of 10. So it's respectable. It can be improved. But there are certainly things that Konami can take note. I think one thing we have to praise Konami this year is, look, they've opened up a Facebook page where people can leave their feedback. Time will tell how this works out, but if Konami can take that feedback, dish it out to the developers and say, look, a lot of people are saying the referees aren't very good. A lot of people are complaining there's not enough physicality. Let's go in there and fix that and then see what happens. You know, if they can do that, I think everyone will be very happy that they have the ability, and now the mindset, I think, is the key word there, of actually listening to us more. They are, and I will give Konami credit. They're starting to listen, and that's why this game is is launched far better than PES 2019. When PES 2019 came out, and I want to touch upon review scores in a minute at the end of this review. When PES 2019 came out, there was problems all over the shop. Literally, the low cross bug, goalies not coming out. I mean, it was constant barrage of problems that made the gameplay stale and boring. And I can safely say this year, it's not. I've played some Master League games that you guys have seen, even on Legend, where I feel like the AI isn't cheating like it used to. So gameplay for me, 8.5, it's solid, it can be improved, but it's not horrendous, and it's still enjoyable. And that brings me into my next point, the last point, the fun factor. How fun is it to pick up PES and playing it? Is it going to keep you engaged? Is it going to want you to play that feeling of one more game that we used to get? I've enjoyed it, I have. It's not gripped me completely, but I'll be honest with you, I'm getting older, and gaming on a whole for me is kind of taken a big step down. I don't play anywhere near as many games as I used to. So for me, it is hard to grip me and grind me into a game, grasp me, there you go, grasp me into a game and make me want to play one more. But PES has done a good job. I find myself enjoying the game. I find myself playing good simulation. That's what I like. You know, I have to take my time and eye up my options. And yes, there are still niggles. Yes, there are still bugs. I think Legend difficulty is working quite well, so give that a shot if you find Superstar too easy. But certainly think it's enjoyable. I'm not talking about online because I haven't touched online. Remember, this is an offline review. But Master League has become more enjoyable. And let's touch on Master League a little bit as well. Have they done enough this year to really ramp it up to another level? I haven't touched Become a Legend either. I don't know how many people have. But Master League is improving. They said it's sort of a 3-stage tier, didn't they? Or a 3-year plan for them to get Master League where they want it to be. Yes, this year is a lot better than last year because we've got the cutscenes and we've got a little bit of a story. You almost create your own story. But what I find also is there's not enough sort of reward, or there's not enough risk. When you make a selection for a manager and you choose a different option, you get 3 options, you choose them. There's not really a risk or reward for it. It's almost very much cosmetic. And I think that's something they have to take into account, because I want it to affect my Master League. If I say the wrong thing and it goes tits up, I want there to be a bit of a risk. You know, if I do something well, I want a reward. That's what I want. Almost like an RPG element incorporated into Master League. At the end of the day, it's still a football game. You're still going to get on the pitch. You're still going to get the 3 points. But behind the scenes, give me something a little bit extra. So yes, if Master League last year was a 7 out of 10, I'd probably say Master League this year is an 8 out of 10. It's not wow, but it hasn't got any worse, and it definitely has improved. So summing it all up, overall, if I calculated all these scores, it would be a 7.9 out of 10. I'm going to rank it up to an 8. I will give PES 2020 offline right now, before the patches, an 8 out of 10. That's my score. Let me know yours, of course, as well. Now let's quickly recap the other PES games, because I thought this was quite interesting, on Metacritic, by the way. When PES 2015 came out, it got an 82 out of 100, right? 58 reviews, so there you go. PES 2016 came out, it got an 87 out of 100, 54 reviews. PES 2017 was an 85 out of 100, 62 reviews. PES 2018 was an 83 out of 100 with 53 reviews. PES 2019 was a 79, worst we've had for a while, out of 100. 56 reviews, and then PES 2020 so far is on an 81 with 45 reviews. But PES 2020 does have the best user review score of around an 8.8 or so, which shows you what users do think of the game. But I think it's interesting, isn't it? Because PES 2019 got a 79 out of 100, and then PES 2020 got an 81. PES 2020 is definitely a step up from 19 when it was released. 19 when it was released is probably a 7 out of 10. It was not great. Too many problems. So it goes to show you that review scores are all over the place. It is personal preference. It's what you believe in. If you enjoy the game, reviews aren't going to matter to you anyway. But that is my review for PES 2020. Let me know yours below. I tried to cover what I could. I don't want to make it super long and boring, but the potential's there. I think Konami have to keep doing what they're doing, listen to us, let us leave the feedback and patch it. I'm interested to see what this patch does in October and if it can really sort of sort out the problems that we have. Because yes, there are still niggles on the pitch. Every game now has a problem. If they can refine them, if they can tweak them, hey, that score could very well go up quite a bit. But until next time, hope you guys enjoyed it. Subscribe for your daily dose of PES. Got PC mod tutorials coming as well. They are coming very, very shortly. So, till next time, take care.